everyone. Welcome to Studio Sunday with Robyn and Terry.
Hi.
How's it going, hon?
Pretty good. A little bit stressed.
Why?
I have a deadline tomorrow.
Yeah, how's it going? Well, we hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. Be sure to wash your hands. We were scheduled to be at Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle this week, but they have postponed it due to the coronavirus there. We're really disappointed, and they have promised to set a new date, and we're really hoping that that will coincide with our travel schedule so that we can see everybody that we missed.
Yeah.
But as disappointed as we are, we do respect their decision to postpone the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a hard decision for us, just trying to decide if we were going to go or not. But hopefully this will be best for everyone. Okay, so on that note, we are going to do a convention online to make up for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Very exciting.
Woohoo.
Abstract Studio Con.
Okay, Abstract Studio Con.
Will be held on our site at abstractstudiocomics.com the same hours that Emerald City would have been. So it's going to begin at 10 a.m. on Thursday, March 12th, and end Sunday at 5 p.m. on March 15th.
So those are the hours the con would have been open.
Correct. And so we're going to hold our own convention, but those times are Central times, guys.
Okay.
So it's 10 a.m. Central to 5 p.m. Central time. Terry will sign any book you order. All you have to do is note it on your order that you would like it signed. We'll also have new original art pages that would have been up at the show, as well as all the sketches that we were going to take.
Okay, so it's like everything is there.
Everything that would have been at the booth will be online.
Okay.
And
what makes this different than any other day?
It's Abstract Studio Con. So all orders that we receive during those times will also receive an Abstract Studio Con signed badge.
Oh, cool. So you have to...
It's really not a badge. It's really like a card, but we're going to call it a badge.
You need that to get in the con.
Exactly. And one last perk for coming to the convention is that all orders ship free during the convention hours.
There you are. Bingo. That's what we were looking for.
So that is huge.
Yeah, it is.
So be sure you order those heavy SIP Omnibus and the heavy SIP Gallery editions during that time.
Okay, so you can get the sketches, the art, the books, and have it shipped to your door free. And you didn't have to go to a convention center, but it's like you went to a convention center, got them, brought them home.
Exactly.
You're not paying for the shipping. They can all be signed. I mean, that is a virtual con right there.
Exactly. So also, please note that any order over $100 will require a signature for delivery. So keep that in mind when you're putting down your shipping address, because orders over $100 will require a signature.
Yeah, because we don't want it left on a porch. And there's lots of places you can send it. If nothing else, you can send it to the nearest UPS office, and they will take it. FedEx office, they'll take it and hold it for you.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. It should be fun.
Yeah, the free shipping makes it, right?
Yeah.
I would do that.
And you're going to post some stuff on, you're going to do some video online as well during those times, correct?
Yeah, I'll certainly let everybody know what is the cool stuff is that's available. All those sketches will finally be available to you online. They're not being held back for a convention center. So, yeah.
Okay, and one other thing, I don't know if I said it. The free shipping, sorry, to our international friends is only good in the U.S. So
because
sorry.
Shipping to Europe costs $1 million.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just
too much.
Yeah. So
Could be more
free shipping in the U.S. only.
U.S. Okay, so this is a U.S. convention.
Yes, correct.
But if you live in Russia, you can use, a clearinghouse in New Jersey or something. A lot of people in Europe have a place, an American address where they send things to bulks over. Check that out.
Okay, so that's what our exciting news is for the week. So we're really looking forward to all that. And our website people are working on getting it all set up right now.
Okay, our mass team.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so are we ready for our first question?
Yeah, now I'm psyched.
I know.
Now I'm awake.
Exactly. Okay, our first question of the day is from Michael.
Okay.
And he asked, when you moved Strangers in Paradise to Image, you switched the book from black and white to color. And then when you went back to self-publishing, you went back to black and white. What led to those decisions, and all else equal, would you prefer to publish in black and white or color?
Well, my opinion is in the book, because I work black and white. So I'm happy with black and white, but I know that eventually it might be colored. So I'm happy with that too. If it wants to end up in color in the long run, so be it. As long as it's the right color, you know, it really makes a difference. And when I was working in color at Homage, I was using colorists who were really busy. They were relaunching the DC, not DC, Marvel stuff, was it?
DC.
DC. They were relaunching DC books, and they were very busy. So, you know, it kind of put a little bit of delay on the book from normal. When I work black and white, when I finish it, it goes straight to the printer. But if you're going to do color, now it needs to go to the colorist. And what you might think would take 10 days might take 3 weeks. So that was a big adjustment for me. I really found that my organic story was working fine in black and white. So when we went back to self-publishing, I was happy to go back to black and white and take that worry out of my life. So it's more fundamental, but it can be a lot of fun. It's the same reason why I draw with my hands instead of a Cintiq. I'm using paper and pencil instead of a Cintiq. I just kind of like the tools and the setup that I have.
Okay. Okay, our next question is, when beginning a new series, which this is very timely because you're working on issue 9 right now of a 10-issue story.
Yeah.
So when beginning a new series, how do you decide on your story? Do you have stories you know you want to tell, or do you think about your audience and what they would like to see?
I do a little bit of both, actually. I think I have ideas that just kind of keep coming around in my head. I toy with it like a puzzle, like a mental puzzle. And what I'll have is setups that I may have seen before, and I'm thinking, what would make that more interesting? Like, for instance, if you have a story, okay, I want to do a fugitive story. What would be a twist on that? You know, and I'll play with that for months in my head. Okay, you know, what if it's impossible for them to run, or if they're in a wheelchair but they're still a fugitive, whatever. You just think of every possibility you can. But am I thinking of the reader at that point only in the general terms of, like, have they ever seen anything like this before? Like, I don't dare give you a ripoff of Star Wars. How that's going to flop. I have to give you something really unusual, like Mike Mignola coming up with Hellboy. That was very original. That was a wonderful idea. He's not copying Star Wars, right? So you have to think of something fresh, something new like that. So I'm trying to think of the new things. And I'll keep tinkering with it until it's time to commit.
Okay. So are you doing an art tutorial today? What's that going to be on?
Well, because I'm on deadline, we're going to watch me work on the page that I'm on. And I will just share what I'm dealing with here on this page. It's going to be spoilers, but if you're an artist, you don't care about spoilers. And today I have to letter and ink this page. And I'm going to be working quickly. So I'm happy to talk to you while I do it. We can see my process. So.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we hope to see everybody at the Abstract Studio Con beginning on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time.
That'll be fun.
And you guys have a good week.
Yeah. Okay. Meet me here. Okay, so I've sped up the video to prevent you from dying of old age while we letter. But you can see that I ruled out my lines with the line tool that I showed you in one of my previous videos. I did that with a blue pencil. And yeah, in a previous video I've showed you my exact settings for my little lettering guide. And
at this moment, I'm lettering the dialogue with a .03 micron. And you can see that I've just used the penciling as a rough guide. So as I'm lettering, I'm trying to be sure about, number one, my spelling, but also about the alignment. It would be nice if I could get these to be in alignment on the page so that I don't have to do a lot of adjusting in Photoshop. I'm thinking about the life of the page from here on out. You want it to look good. You don't want it to look all wonky. And yeah, you could fix it in Photoshop, but I want the page to look nice too. So here I am. I'll tell you a secret. I've never told anybody. This VJ character that we're meeting for the first time in 5 years, he was actually an Echo. His last name, Narayanan, um, that's the second name on the Photoshop credits. And apparently the man, Narayanan, who helped develop Photoshop is very famous in the tech industry, and I wanted to use that Indian name for VJ. I just kind of a tip of the hat. So about finished lettering here, and I switched to a .05 to get the emphasis on America, is that we punch that. Okay, now it's time to do the ruling boxes. And at this point, I look up there and I see that the top of the page is not aligned perfectly with the T-square. And that's where I get my perfect horizon line. So that when I put that top of the paper in the scanner against the edge, I know that the art will scan in at true 45 and a true horizon line, true vertical. And I don't have to adjust anything in Photoshop. Making sure that your boxes are all square, vertical, and horizontal is really important. I did not do that for the first year or two. And when I got back in there and had to work with things and in digital domain, oh, it was tough. And it's so easy to fix. You just get your top of your page aligned once, and everything you do from then on with the T-square is in alignment. So easily fixed. I'm using a .08 micron to do my boxes. And I'm working on a vellum Strathmore paper, so it's not the smoothest line in the world. Oh, and then I use my little sonic tool driver to make sure I don't have any misspellings. And diving in with the brush. So if you'll notice when I do the hair, I'm always pulling in the length of the hair, in the direction of the hair. That way, whatever lines you get are friendly to gravity, hair and gravity. I work into a 102 Hunt nib here for the detail of the hand and the phone. And I'm going to do the nib again for the details of this man's eyes. But I was uncomfortable when I did this because I felt like there was a lot of ink on that pen nib and it was putting really heavy lines down. I would have liked to have worked with lighter lines, but you know what? Lighter lines are not your friend in a comic book. So just be brave, take it on the chin, and commit to the line. That's what I'm trying to do here. If I stay with this all the way up into the hair, it's not going to look great. So I'm going to get about as far up as I can with the pen, and then I'm going to switch to a brush. Again, you can see that I'm using the pencil lines as suggestions, and then I'm really figuring out the rest of the drawing with the inking tools. And when it comes to the hair, boy, that's really the case. My goal here is to make that super thick top hair that you saw on really great photos of James Dean. So I even have the James Dean cheek lines on this guy. And James Dean actually had a bit of a, his hair came back on the edges up there like that. I think if he had lived long enough, he might have been bald, just like all those handsome old actors that grew up and got chubby and bald. Okay, so here we are, we're putting on a sweater with one of those thick collars. So I'm doing crooked lines here to get that feeling of sheep's wool that has been pulled. And I didn't do the shoulders because he's standing inside of a door. So pull out that .08 again micron and line it up with the see-through ruler, and there's a door frame on one side, and then here's the edge of the door on the other side. When I'm done, I can add wood textures to those. And I put a little half moon back there, and that's going to be blacked in. I put the X's there just to show you where the black is. That helps just define that there's a room space behind him. Now here's a tricky thing. He's got a black sweater on, but that's going to be messing up with what I did with Zoe. Can I do black around Zoe and get away with it without it just clogging up? I think I can. Let me show you how I do it. So I get on top of the hair, that little thing. When I get down here, I leave a white line space between Zoe and the sweater, and that's my separation of depth of field. Okay, there's another trick here. I have to put a pattern on this sweater because, you know, sheep's wool. And I've got the buzz, and the hand. How do you do that without clogging all that up? Same thing. Leave a bit of a white space around it. And it's actually not a bad idea to have that pattern background because it pops the white of the hand and the art. See how it kind of stands out a little bit? So having a pattern background behind your art, you don't always have to have a clear white space. You can do those patterns and all that. You just have to be sure to leave a bit of gap between the background and the foreground. I'm going to do the same thing up here on the hair. There will be a gap of a white space there, as if he has a little bit of a nuclear glow to him. And you can see how I'm freehanding the brush to work on those lines. And that's just something you get a little bit confident with as you work on the brush more and more. It's actually not that hard to make straight lines with a brush because it offers no resistance on the page. So once you get your hand going in a straight pull, the brush follows suit. And you just keep your pressure even on the hair of the brush, and it will maintain a consistent line. But we're going to test it here, aren't we? Okay, here we go. Get brave. You can do it. You can do it. Do it 2 swipes. There you go. And get rid of the ink, the loose pencil down here on the bottom. Sometimes I wait until the whole page is finished to do this, but I want to show you this panel. I'm not going to brush right away up on that deep black stuff. I decided to put a pattern on his shirt. It'll help blend it in. Put a little detail on the phone so you can tell that is a phone and not just a white something. You're not really meant to read what's on there. Add a little pattern to the illegal fur hat that you can only get in Russia. And just a little hint of definition on the chest. And that's it. That's how I did that panel. And I only have about 9 more panels to go and this page will be done. Okay, wish me luck. I got a deadline tomorrow. Okay, you guys have a good week.